Good morning, good morning. Welcome to the Elevate Renatus team call. This is your host, Keely Austin. Today is Wealth Wednesday. It is July 29th, and I'm honored to be here with you. Today we get to learn from an amazing individual who has really taken this opportunity and shown us what is possible. He has had so much success with both marketing and real estate investing, and we're so fortunate that he spends Wednesday mornings with us and trains on what's working for him in his business. So Daine was working 2 jobs before Renatus, and I believe he found Renatus about 4 years ago. He was working for Apple and also as a roofer. He fell into roofing. That's what his dad was doing. So he ended up being a roofer. And then at Apple, since Daine was really not very good at talking with people, he grew up on a dairy farm and just wasn't very socially comfortable. And so when he was working at Apple, typically you're talking to customers, selling cell phones, but he was actually in the back counting cell phones because, like I said, he wasn't very good at talking to people. He was very shy at the time, and it's just so cool to see him today. He is far from shy. And Renatus provides a lot of personal development, which I think that has helped Daine a lot with that growth. So at the time, he was barely making ends meet, and he started looking for other income opportunities, and he found Renatus. He plugged into the system, listened to his mentor, and started to apply what he was learning. He applied velocity banking to his current situation, and then that enabled him to get into a duplex creatively where he lived in one side and rented out the other side. If we fast forward to today, now Daine has raised over $12 million from various investors for his transactions, for his real estate transactions. And his secret to that is consistency and frequency. He has grown his team. He's now a PIT team member, meaning he's in training to be on the PAC, the President's Advisory Council, with our CEO. And we're very fortunate again to get to learn from Daine. Good morning, Daine. How are you?
Good morning, Keely. Thank you so much for that intro every week. I just broke my $13.5 millionth dollar
of course you did.
To work in real estate. Oh, yeah. Thank you guys for the claps, the happies, the smiles. Thank you for the love. I got some good stuff today, guys. So let's dive right into it. If you guys already know what I like to do, then tell me how many people that, oh yeah, thank you, David and Gilda. You guys are already doing it. Tell me, how many people did you talk to in the last 7 days? Tell me, how many people did you get to an intro? Did you get to a follow-up? Did you get to, we got an intensive this weekend. How many people you got committed to the intensive this weekend? Let's see, I'm trying to remember what we had. When does Mark Kohler come to town? Is that to record classes? Was that last week? I forget. But did you get anybody on the live stream? Okay, so all that stuff. How many people were you able to connect to this? I find that this business is just a connection business. If you can connect one person to this person, to this person, to this presentation, to that event, to this video, nowadays to this Facebook group, where we've got this Facebook group for just prospecting, or maybe you built your own Facebook group because we gave you guys the whole template to duplicate our own Facebook group. Speaking of which, maybe we should talk about that a little bit today, because I made something new. Somebody, if you guys know what we're talking about, these Facebook groups where you can build your own or you can plug into everybody else's. We made, somebody requested to have a video of the Bob Snyder up on stage at Nationals, where everybody walks through and says, "Thank you, Bob. I've been Barter Renatus for 1 year and I've done 3 deals," or "Thank you, Bob. We've been a part of this for 5 years. We've done 50 deals," or whatever. I found it, and I loaded it into the Google Drive. So you guys can put this in your own Facebook groups if you want. I'm not sure if it's already got uploaded into the big one, but yeah. So if you need access to that training on that Facebook group, I believe Keely has access to that somewhere. Is it on YouTube or is it in the Facebook group?
Are you talking about the Super
I think
Saturday?
it's in the Facebook group. Yeah, that Super Saturday where we trained on how to build that Facebook group.
Yes, that was 7-Eleven. So look up Saturday, 7-Eleven, Super Saturday, and it's on the Facebook channel. Yes.
Cool. So
On the
Saturday,
Facebook.
7-Eleven, Super Saturday. Watch that training, and it's going to have all the links in there. It's going to have everything you need. Okay. So check that out. And then in the Facebook group, we got some stuff. So, all right, let me look at comments here. So got to scroll up. We got a lot of people. David and Gilda, 7 on the intro tonight. Come on. Awesome. Levi and Sherry had a goose egg. That's okay, guys. Honesty brings, in my opinion, honesty is gravity, right? When I found when I was honest with people, with where I was, what I'm doing, what I'm learning, that's when, in my opinion, or from my perspective, the magic started happening. That's when I had people like, and sometimes I say this on a weekly basis because my first story hasn't changed, but the first time I ever raised $1 million was totally by accident. And I told the guy, I'm new, I haven't done any deals yet, but this is what I'm looking at. This is what I'm seeing. This is what I'm looking for. And he goes, dude, if you could find that, you call me and we will look at that together. I got money, Daine. And I was like, okay, scared me to death. But yeah, when you're honest with yourself, even if you got a goose egg, it creates this gravity to you because you're honest. And people want to work with people who are honest. Okay. So Bilal, I talked to 12 people. I hope you have 12 stories and you remember those. Because notice, if you talk to 12 people and you didn't get a single person in front of an intro, or you didn't get a single person into a follow-up or a one-on-one or an event, then remember those 12 stories. Be able to tell all 12 stories to somebody. I don't care who it is, just somebody. I mean, even the mirror if you have to, because you're going to learn. Every single one of those 12 people was a learning experience. And so take what you can out of that. That was how I got good. That was literally how I got good at communicating with somebody, right? So some people look at me right now. I just had this yesterday. Some people look at me right now and say, well, Daine, how are you so good at this? It's almost as if you talk to one person who's interested and then you close a combo, or you close a real estate deal. Well, yeah, I've been doing it for 4.5 years. And every time I talk to somebody, I go back and say, ooh, what did I learn from that? Right? What did I learn from that person? Okay, what went well? What didn't go well? How can I be better on the next person? How can I show up to a conversation and in the back of my mind say, I love you and I'm excited to serve you. Right? I mean, these are just things that I would say as I was communicating with people, and I'm going to find a solution to the problem that I find that you have. Right? And I didn't say this to them physically. I didn't, tell them you got problems. No, in the back of my mind, I love you. I'm excited to serve you. And I'm going to find a problem that I know how to solve in your life. Right? Again, I didn't say that to them. I said that in the back of my mind. and by golly, I would find problems. Yeah. And in fact, I can't remember who it was, but somebody in my life told me that if you talk to people and you meet somebody and you just assume that person has some kind of problem in their life, 9 times out of 10, you're going to be right. 9 times out of 10, you're going to be right. Right. And so if you show up and you love them, you're excited to serve them, and you want to find some kind of problem that you know how to solve, AKA in the real estate investing world, because that's what we do here. Anyway, I'm on my soapbox right now, right? You guys are awesome. So, all right, Autumn, one for funds tonight. Charlene Gray has 3, congratulations. Alinda, 2 to the house tour. And Alinda actually got something on her vision board, I noticed on the Facebooks, from our training last week. So, and we're gonna do some follow up on that, by the way, today. Balil, 0 in attendance. No worries, brother. Honesty is gravity. Ada Black had 4. Keely sent out 50 unique messages / invites yesterday. 15 plus conversations. 7 guests booked for this week so far. Success, low speed. Yes. Congratulations, Keely. Kim had 10. Megan, 12 to the intro. 4 follow-ups. Man, we got some good stuff. 7 intensives. 1 sale. Love it. 5 books for the intensive Saturday. More to invite. Facebook group. Ooh, Lisa. I totally made my Facebook group. Thanks for the awesome info. Let us know how it's going in the comments as I'm scrolling down here. I want to read that. Just give me like a sentence. I don't know how. Let's see. I don't know about the Make Your Facebook group. How do I get the drive? Lorene, 7-Eleven, Super Saturday. Watch it. So Brigham, 1 private event, 2 guests, 7 101 since Monday. I had 6 people at last night's property tour. Yes, I love it. Amy, 4 for tonight. David, 1. Sherry, 1. Megan Dale, way to go, Keely. I agree. Ada, 8. Keely's saying that she had a goose egg last week. And look what it attracted to her. Because she was honest in front of, 50, 60, 80 people, however many we got on here. Oh, thank you, Levi, for the Facebook training. Oh, man, you guys are awesome. Look at this. I have someone who I had the mildly curious. She's going to try to gauge one as a price in the company. To send her a recording of the profits intro. Yeah, I would just send her a recording of the profits intro. I wouldn't just fire back a dollar amount because there's no weight to that. Right? It's almost as if you're just like, hey, can I have $5,000? Right? Hey, Gilda. I'm just looking at people who have their Facebook or their cameras on. Hey, Gilda, can I have $3,000? Right? That's almost like what it's gonna feel like for them. So yeah, I think Levi. Bobby had 5. Man, we had so many people. I can't even get to everybody. Berta. She made her dream board. Look at that. Berta had a goose egg, but she says, I got my vision board. 81 Lisa, 81 members was building before, but now I see that they do the videos. They like them. Yes. And then I send them the thing. Awesome. Wanda, 101 invitational flyers to the intensive. I love it. All right. Let's help somebody. So if you already know that you're the person, you're my guy, you're my gal, that you want a little bit of mentorship from the group and myself, then come off of mute. If you're somebody that's never done it before, I would love to help you because you're going to bring a different perspective. You're going to ask a different question. That I tell you what, most people want to hear it. Most people it's interesting. A lot of people actually tell me, Daine, when somebody else asked a question and you answered that question, that's where I got the most out of it that day. So you know who you are. Just come off of mute, interrupt me, turn your camera on if you wouldn't mind. Doesn't matter if you don't have makeup on. I didn't put my makeup on today, so we're all, we all love each other here. We don't care. So yeah, come off of mute. You know who you are. Ask your question. And let's count. You don't have to turn your camera off. It's not a requirement. If that's what it takes for me to get you off of mute. But all right. And if we don't have anybody, then I'll just get right into what I got. Ooh, who do I have? Is it Gilda?
Well, actually, I came out, Daine. I was just, wondering, what do you use for the intensive invites for Saturday? Do you have something that you could share?
So whenever they send stuff out, like I've noticed this about myself. I am not a content creator. I just don't. I don't know why. Personality, whatever. But so whenever they make stuff, that's what I use. And so I know I'm trying to think. I got some stuff in my email. I saw some stuff on the Facebook group. Corporate made some stuff. I know other ICMs always make some stuff. And so
You're breaking up.
that's
Is that
usually
me or
where
is
I
that you?
Oop, did you guys all hear me?
No, you were
Or
breaking up.
am I break?
No, I don't know if it was you or was that me.
Okay. I'm getting a bunch of nods that I was okay. So might have been your connection. But
Ah,
in essence, I don't create content. I just take what Renatus has and I use that. Or if other ICMs want to make their own, then I'll be like, hey, can I have that too? And I'll pull that from those guys. So I saw some stuff in my email and Facebook. I'm trying to remember where I got it. Yeah, I think it was those two places, email and Facebook, for the Profits course.
from corporate? You got it from corporate?
I wonder, where did I see that? Was it in? Did they make something in the founders webinar? Oh my gosh, where did I get that? Somebody help me out. Where do we get the stuff for the intensive? Or where did we get the stuff for the intensive?
The flyer was shared
okay.
on Monday by Michael last week, I believe. So I can.
And that was on Facebook, is that right?
Yeah, it is on Facebook. Wanda shared it on the Facebook page.
Oh, okay.
Was emailed to Pitt. Okay, cool. Yeah, Tamara said it was emailed to Pitt. Okay, that's right. That's where I was gonna say. I know I saw it
Okay, cool.
somewhere.
I'll get it from there.
But yeah,
Thank you very much.
if you can't find it, you know how to find us.
Yeah,
And
I'll
we'll
go
help
to
you
the
out.
Facebook. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Thank you,
Cool.
Keely.
Anybody else? Let's see, we're 25 after. Anybody else? I got a little bit of time. That if somebody has a question, somebody wants to come off of mute, and let's have a conversation. Let's see if I can help you. I've got Brigham off of mute. I've
Hey,
also
Daine.
got Alinda off of mute.
So really quick, I had a guest that he came to 2 different events, and then after I did my final follow-up with him, he said, you know what, I'm just looking for deals right now. I don't want to have to do it. I just have money. And where you're a private money lender, I was wondering, he doesn't have a lot. He has like 10 or 20,000 that he could put into something, but that's better than nothing. And I'm wondering, what do you usually do with smaller amounts like that he's like, I don't want to do anything. I just want to have my money work for me.
Good question. So, and my disclaimer is I can't give you guys real estate advice, especially on this call.
Totally.
So if I have everybody's buy-in, I want a nod from everybody that has their camera on. Give me a thumbs up. If I tell you guys what my answer to that is when I'm working my real estate business, you guys just have to agree that, and recognize that I'm not giving you guys advice, right? Watch your classes. I don't think they answered that question in the classes, if I remember right. But ask everybody you know that's doing real estate the same question, right? And so here's what I do. Let me give you 2 answers. Here's what I did 3 years ago when I was new, and here's what I do today. So when somebody told me that 3 years ago, I was like, oh my gosh, cool. You wanna put money into real estate? And I got excited for any amount, 10, 20, 30,000. But I quickly learned that person that has 10, 20, maybe 30 grand, I mean, it depends on the deal, depends on the location. Cause yeah, I mean, $20,000 in Chris Albin's town, I mean, that you buy the whole thing, right? You buy the whole property for that much, right? So, but in my neighborhood, I mean, that's not even enough money to make a down payment in Utah. So my answer was typically like, cool. Well, typically like that's like down payment money, that's rehab money. And so if I can find a spot for that, if I have a deal where I just need that much money, and so I make them feel like, hey, like you're bringing pennies to the game, especially in Utah. But I mean, if real estate is different in your area, then yeah, the conversation's different. And this is why I can't give real estate advice really, because your area is going to be different than mine, especially. But at the end of the day, that's where I go. Like, hey, that's a small amount in my neighborhood, and so I watch for stuff if I can get into But typically the person, and so this is where I'd come back, typically the person that has that amount of money, you need to learn how to find your own deals, right? Because people who know how to find deals are also finding people who have money to do the whole deal, right? In my neighborhood, you need like $100,000 for down payment, rehab, plus or minus. And so I'll kind of give them a snapshot. Now I'm talking flips, of course. I mean, yeah, I've taken 20 grand and put that into real estate creatively here in Utah, of course, but I was the one who had all the knowledge and creatively acquired those properties, sure, but I had the knowledge, right? And so I try to steer them back to, hey, somebody like that. Ooh, you know what? My next question is, what kind of return would turn your head? I'd ask them, what kind of return? What kind of return would turn your head? If they say 10% flat interest, I say, cool. Then yeah, we could probably work together. But if they say anything more, then I'm like, dude, you need to get educated. Like, people that are making that kind of return are the ones who know how to find the deals. And so you need to get educated, right? So there's one answer. Nowadays, if somebody comes to me and says 20 grand, I kind of say, well, the minimum to work with me right now is 100 grand. Like, it's not even worth my time to pick up the phone if somebody says, hey, I have anything less than $100,000 and they're within my criteria. But that's me, right? And I gave you guys my disclaimer, right? That is me. That is my business. That's how I've chosen to my perspective of the real estate investing education. And I actually met with Kohler's office quite a bit. And his SEC attorney as well down there at KKOS, spent thousands of dollars to be like, hey, here's what can I say, things like that, right? So give them a call as well. If you're actually going to be taking people's money and putting that into real estate, then yeah, you have to have an attorney to help you with that kind of stuff. But I hope that helps, brother.
No, totally. I appreciate that.
Steer it back to, dude, you need to get educated. And so let's see if we can duplicate your money. Let's see if we can open up some lines of credit. You keep your 20 grand, but then you spend some money and get involved in Renatus, and then you will know exactly what to do with that 20 grand to and obviously no deal is typical and no result is typical, but you could say, hey, I watched one Renatus student take $20,000 and 10 times it in 1 year, right? I've done that. I've taken 20 grand and it was my own money though, right? I didn't go take somebody's money and I give you I'm not going to 10 times somebody else's money. If I use their money, I'm going to give them like a 10% APR type of a return, right? Because I brought the knowledge, I brought the deal. They just wrote the check. That was the easiest thing to do in that deal, right? Anyway, I love talking real estate though, so I could talk all day. But yeah, good question. Steer it back and say you need Renatus, because I can tell you right now, somebody that has that amount of money, they're not going to go far, right? They're not going to double, triple, quadruple all these stories that you hear. They're not going to do that if they're not educated. They're just going to be a bank, and the bank makes the least amount of money in real estate deals. Okay, so yeah, good question. Cool. So, Alinda, I had you off of mute. Did you have a quick question? Ooh, Alinda, I can't hear you if you're talking.
Sorry, I didn't
There you
have
are.
a question. Hi. So I have a question. So I have a gal that I've brought a couple of times. She came again last night.
Mm-hmm.
She's very interested, but now all of a sudden her husband has told her, you just need to become a real estate agent and don't even worry about the Renatus thing. What do I say?
I would say, what do you want to do? What would you rather be, a glorified car salesman? Just add a zero to becoming a car salesman, or would you rather become an investor? Would you rather be, so for example, like if I flip a house, I want to make 3 times as much as my realtor or more. I want to make 3 times as much as my realtor to do one deal. And so you ask them like, well, what do you want? Do you want more money, less money? Do you want, do you want to buy it, or do you want to be a salesman? Right? That's the difference. A realtor is a salesman. An investor is a buyer. An investor, and typically an investor wants to make 3 times, minimum 3 times what a realtor is going to make on each deal.
Oh, I like
and
that.
So ask her. So you just ask her, like, well, that's totally fine, but do you understand what you're getting into here? Maybe don't say that. That's totally fine. Just ask her, like, so what's the end goal though? Do you want to be a salesman or do you want to be an investor? Because you invest 120 hours into becoming a realtor, and you invest 120 hours into becoming an investor. That's a very different ballgame. In realtor school, they don't teach you stuff like this. In realtor school, they teach you, here's how you don't get sued. They don't even teach you like skill. They don't even teach you communication skill. They just teach you how to not get sued. Right. In fact, I just talked to a couple of realtors on Monday, and they confirmed in realtor school, they don't even teach you how to really evaluate a property. Yeah, they'll teach you, oh, CMA, this is what a CMA is, the definition, but they don't actually teach you how to go do that. Oftentimes that'll be taught to you by another realtor that figured out how to punch it into the MLS software, and it doesn't even work. The MLS software is so customizable and so confusing that most realtors are tens of thousands of dollars off when they are creating an ARV. Tens of thousands.
Wow. Okay.
Most realtors, at least in my experience, right? Done 85 deals, and when I see realtors coming up with CMA, anyway, I'm on my high horse now. So just ask her that question.
Okay, perfect. Thank
Ask
you.
her that question. What do you want to do? Do you want to be a salesman or do you want to be an investor?
Okay.
And go to that kind of school. So.
Okay, perfect.
Cool. Great question. All right. Let me show you guys what I got for you tonight. This morning. Holy cow. It is. I just woke up. What's going on here? Probably because the sun's coming up, but yeah, holy cow. Hashtag be more like Daine. No. You guys are too kind. Lily. Lily's going to have something good. Realtors are trained to sell. Investors invest in themselves. Yeah. I've been a realtor for 14 years, but since I joined Renatus, I finally built my rental portfolio with passive income. So Linda, if you saw that, use Lily's story. Lily is awesome. A perfect example. Been a realtor for 14 years. I think if I remember right, she invested a little bit, but not really. But now she's done deal after deal after deal just because she joined Renatus. And so again, ask her, tell the story, ask her the questions, and be like, what do you want, right? I just want to help you accomplish what you want. You want to be a salesman, or do you want to be an investor? And average. I mean, the last deal I did with Lily, as an investment property, I mean, she made 2 or 3 times more than a realtor made. And she was the realtor. So, I mean, yeah, so tell Lily's story. Tell Lily's story there. Double dip as a realtor and investor. Yeah, and that works too. Absolutely. Deborah Brick, you can totally double dip. Yes.
Daine, can I ask a quick question? Are you ready to move on?
Yes, go ahead.
It's about the tracker that you share with people when they purchase their education or become IMAs.
Mm-hmm.
At what point do you...
Or students, yeah.
Yes. At what point do you or share that with them, like in the process?
I send them the video or I get them to an intro. We do the one-on-one, and sometimes I will kind of sneak peek it in that one-on-one. And basically I say, in fact, here, let me who did I do this with just a moment ago? Let me find some recent. Dean Anderson. Here we go. So this was the very end. I just did this on Monday, this follow-up. And so this was the very end of our conversation. I basically told him, all right, step one, you know, you're going to get some lines, you know, come to our group thing on Tuesday. You and I are going to schedule a follow-up after you're able to go do that. And then we'll unlock education. And then I build the crap out of this. I say, the moment you are able to unlock your education, AKA pay for it, put the credit cards in, the moment you are able to unlock your education, I want to schedule a goal setting session. This will probably be one of the most important meetings in your, in your path, because we set goals differently than anybody I have ever seen. And so when you and I sit down and we actually build out your curriculum and we set goals, you are going to know exactly what to do every step of the way, where you'll never have to wonder what to do next, right? And so when we sit down, I build the heck out of this goal setting session. In fact, I should probably have surrounded this in rainbow colors, and right. So I sell it. I say, when we sit down and unlock education, we're going to schedule a meeting on my calendar as soon as possible, so that you and I can get to that point where you never have to wonder what to do next. And two, oh yeah, I forgot, when I go to this screen, you guys can't see my face, and so I'm like talking into the camera and holding my fingers up and oh, you guys can't see my screen either? Oh my goodness, what am I doing? Here, let me do this real fast. Zoom, start broadcast, and bam. Tell me if you guys can see my screen now.
Yes.
Can you see this? Okay, cool. So, oh my gosh, look at me. All right, so let me back that up. So this is the very end of we did our one-on-one, and we sat down and we did this, and I here was the close, basically, like, all right, next on the list, you're gonna get lines. We're gonna meet Tuesday. I told him, you have to have one real estate convo, right? Where I, before tomorrow, and I want you to tell me about it, right? It's basically like, training starts today. I want you to go have one real estate investing conversation with somebody before we meet tomorrow. And I want you to tell me what that person says, right? So, and you'll notice here that I'm like prepping him to become a marketer, but he doesn't even know it yet. And so he went and had that real estate conversation, no strings attached, just go say the words investing in real estate. And he did that. And he's like, yeah, the guy like lit up. He's like, oh my gosh, like, yeah, I've been thinking about doing that. I've been a contractor for, so this many years, or a landscaper. And I like, the guy lit up, and I was like, all right, dude, the next time you and I chat, AKA when we're able to sit down, I'm going to uncover and show you how to handle that kind of a conversation, right? AKA, dude, you should come and check out what I'm doing, right? But yeah, so somebody asked me that, the tracker. So I essentially, I talk about the tracker. I didn't show it to him, but I just said, when we sit down, we're gonna create that. We're gonna create that accountability, and you'll never wonder what to do next. And then I said, and then as soon as you get going, as soon as you've got education under your belt, so here, let me come back up to here.
I don't have internet. Yeah.
If you got, if here, somebody turn their mute off, or turn their mute on, or whatever, that's chatting. I'm not sure who you are, but check your, okay, thanks. So yeah, I basically come back to this and say, hey, phase 1, phase 2, right? Get educated. You got to know what, you got to know who, you got to know how, right? We're going to leverage Renatus to do this. Step 2, you learn how to find the deals here. You learn how to analyze the deals here. You learn how to make the offers here. And so that's what we're going to do in phase 2. And as soon as you get a yes, then we call all these people, right? So as soon as you get a yes, we call all these people and say, hey guys, I got one. And then we close on a deal, right? And I don't want you to be thinking, hey, how do I do one deal the whole time? Yes, that's what we want to do on the first deal. But as soon as we've done the first deal, I want you to start thinking like I do and say, how do I do this 100 times? Right? I mentioned I've done 85 deals now. That was my mindset. I did one deal and I said, all right, how can I utilize systems, tools, resources? How can I do this 100 times? Right? And so I tell them that. That's my mindset. And I've been telling people that ever since I did one deal. I don't want to do this once. I want to do this 100 times. That's where I got my sights set. That's what I got on my vision board, right? And then we come down here, and so I tell them, I say, we're going to set those goals. We're going to get to work so that we can get to as fast as possible where you are looking for deals as quickly as possible. Fair enough? And he said, yeah, let's do it. I say, great. I'll see you tomorrow. And I want to hear a story of the conversation that you have where you just say the words investing in real estate. Is that easy enough? Yeah, I'm not asking you to do anything else. Just say the words investing in real estate and you shut up and listen and see what they say. And then he showed up. He showed up last night because I met him on Monday. He showed up last night and he's like, yeah, I talked to the guy and he's getting to work. So, but then, so the question was, when do I bust it out? I talk about it in the one-on-one, but I don't actually go and create it until they have put their cards in, right? So this AKA means credit card. Credit cards are in, then I'm going to make them the accountability sheet and I sell it, right? I mean, you guys heard, I sell it. This is the most important part. It is, because I believe it with my whole heart. Okay. All right. Let's see. Oh my gosh, we're 45 minutes after. We had some awesome questions. I know this was valuable for everybody. So just to save time, I'm going to, we're going to make a new sheet here. And let me just name it real fast. So this is July. Holy cow, July's almost over. July 29th, Wealth Wednesday. So I got some notes for you guys, and I might just take a picture of my notes instead of try to type these out. But last week we talked about vision boards and goals and some very specific ways to set your goals. We went a little bit over on time, so I'm going to be a little more respectful this time. I'm going to try and speed up and make sure that we finish. Let's see. So if I go to insert camera, let's see here. Let's see if I can get this whole thing. Can you guys read this okay? So, and bam. All right. Oh, you know what? I think I can go like this. Blah, blah, blah. This app is so cool and it's free. All right. Cool. Yeah, I think I can read all that. All right, cool. So here's how I will set a goal. Here's how you pull in all the different aspects to make sure that you achieve it, right? So last week we talked about how you have the 9 items on your vision board. And you may have heard me say before that if you cannot write out a one-page report on a goal, you don't even have a real goal, right? I could argue, I could poke holes in, you don't really want that goal, right? And so here, if you guys want to take screenshots of this, I'm gonna turn it sideways. Oh, let's see. Let's see, how do I do that? There we go. You guys want to take a screenshot of that? Here, I'll make it nice and big so you can catch the whole thing. Take screenshots of this, okay? And so essentially what you want to do is, oh, let me move over. What you want to do is you write it down. Here's the template, right? And so you say to yourself, I commit to whatever your goal is. And last, Keela, can you turn somebody off of mute for us? You're going to sit down and you're going to write with a pen and a piece of paper, right? This needs to go through the kinesthetic energy of your fingers, right? You need to create this from the brain to the fingers. You're going to use the audible, you're going to use the visualization of the vision board, okay? But this is what you're going to write. I commit to my goal. Has to be measurable. There's got to be a number, right? There has to be an I got it or I didn't scale. And then you're going to say, because it will, right? And what is it going to do for you? If you achieve that goal, what is it actually going to do for you? If you flip a house, what is that going to do for you, right? Which will feel, how is that going to make you feel? So, you know, let's just you go along with this flip example, okay? I commit to flipping a house, right? How are you going to know if you achieved that goal? Did you flip a house? Yes or no, right? Easy, measurable. I want to flip a house, or I want to flip 5 houses, right? Whatever it is. And then from last week, we talked about, here, I'm going to draw a little bit. We talked about A goals, B goals, C goals. This is where you are. This is where you want. Okay, and this is somewhere in between. In between. Sometimes our goals, like for example, if your goal is I want to flip a house, but where you are is I've never flipped a house, you're probably going to need to set a goal somewhere in between. Like, hey, what do I need to do to flip a house, right? What do I need to have in place to flip a house? Do I need money, or do I have money? No, I don't. Okay, I need to learn how to raise money, right? So we had Brigham have had his buddy that said, hey, I got 20 grand, right? And so, you know, is that going to be one of the steps to achieving my goal? If somebody has $20,000 and you're like, hey, I need that to be a part of my goal, then, you know, I'm sorry, Brigham, I forgot to mention this, but if you need that to be a part of your goal and your vision, then yeah, use it. Legally, morally, ethically, use attorneys, all that stuff, sure. But and I would suggest to you guys, just because I've been doing this long enough, that if you are using somebody else's money and you do not have an attorney involved, oh my goodness, be careful. Be so. In fact, I would need to slap you if you're using other people's money and you're not using an attorney, right? It's got to be official. You gotta cross your I's and dot your T's, or cross your T's and dot your I's. Anyway, sorry, moving on. But yeah, if you set a goal in between, that's fine. To get to that goal, and you break anyway. So this is what it's going to do for me. If I flip a house, I'm going to pay off my Renatus education, right? If I flip a house, I'm going to take my wife, take my spouse, take myself, take my dog on a awesome trip, whatever. And this, which is going to feel awesome. I'm going to feel like $1 million. I'm going to feel like, holy crap, this is possible. I'm going to feel like, oh my goodness, this actually happened to me. I'm going to feel grateful, right? Whatever that is, this is how I'm going to feel. So now, moving on, to achieve my goal, I now 100%, how much? 100% commit. Again, if you don't do stuff like this, I would argue, do you really have a goal? Do you really want to flip that house or buy that rental or become a 5-star, whatever it is, right? Close your first combo. Do you really have a goal if you don't 100% commit to it? I would argue no. You're living life by default. Okay. Anyway, so your measurable action, right? This has to be a repeatable goal, right? You need to do this every, this goal is like, I commit to doing this every day. I commit to doing this many times a week, right? Again, has to be measurable. There has to be some kind of number in here per week, per day, per week, right? Nothing longer. This thing right here it cannot be longer than a per day or a per week type of repeatable action step. Okay. Has to be. Right now, you say buy. So for example, let's say you're going to do a 30-day blitz, and you're going to, or I don't even know if I want to call it a blitz, because whenever I think blitz, I'm like, I don't want to do a blitz. That sounds painful, right? But if I say, you know what, I want to do my 1-a-day vitamin. I mean, this is how you just play with your own psyche, right? I got my 1-a-day vitamin of talking to one person and saying the words investing in real estate to one person per day. And I will do that for 1 month, right? So if right now it's July 29th, so I'm going to say August 29th, 2020 at, put a time in it, by 5 p.m. I will have done 30 real estate investing conversations where I said the words investing in real estate, and I remember each of those conversations, right? I have learned, I turned 30 experience, I turned 30 conversations into a learning experience, or money, right? Deals, flips, money to do deals, whatever it is, properties to analyze, okay? So has to have this is the one you want the date on. You don't want to say, I want to flip a house by this date. You want to say, I will do, because you can't control that. You can't control, I want to flip a house, all right? A lot of people will set a goal, I'm going to flip a house by this date. You don't control that. Other people have to make decisions in order for you to get that. This is the thing you can control. This is the thing that is going to mess with your psyche in a positive way, because even if every single person says no, you still did it, or you didn't, right? And if you're honest with yourself, that is where you're going to be like, you know what? I learned something about myself. I need to be a little bit more committed, because I wasn't actually 100% committed to my goal. Or I did it. I didn't flip a house, but I now have, and let's just use my example. I now have 30 experiences under my belt that I did not have 30 days ago, right? If a lot of people, like Keely mentioned, I was painfully shy before this, and people would never guess that. The truth is, I am still technically painfully shy, right? It is work for me. It does not come naturally. Even still, after all these, let's see, I've been in Renatus for 4.5 years, over 4.5 years. It's still work to me. I naturally am still an introvert, but I just know how to set a goal and achieve it. And you know what? It is actually kind of fun. It is kind of fun to show up in somebody's life and say those words. I love you. I want to serve you. I am going to find a problem that I can solve in your life. I love it. I love helping people. When I was in 6th grade and we're all in elementary, I was the kid that, maybe you guys can relate to this, but I was the kid that when they're all like, hey, what do you want to do when you grow up? And everyone's like, I want to be a doctor. I want to be a lawyer. All these things that they're inspired. And then you had some of the kids that were like, they didn't know what they wanted. And so they just said, I want to help people. I was that kid, because I couldn't come up with something inspiring enough, or inspiring like some of these other kids. I didn't know. I want to help people, right? But you know what? Deep down, that's what I wanted. And now I do it for a living. I have to put food on my table. I help people. That's what I do. And that's what you do as a real estate investor, right? Next, if I don't, this is important, okay? Because we as humans are motivated by 2 things, either pain or pleasure. We're motivated by pain or pleasure, right? So why don't we just take the advantages of both and say, if I don't do this, if I don't do 30 real estate whatever it is, real estate investing conversations per day for the next 30 days, and AKA one a day, my one a day vitamin, if I don't do this for the next 30 days, I am going to do, and this has to be something that you hate. I am going to sing on Facebook Live. I'm going to sing on Facebook Live, right? A lot of you would probably be like, I'm not doing that, right? Well, are you 100% or not, right? This is going to tell you your commitment level. And if you can come up with something that you would absolutely hate to do, and you're okay with that, that is going to tell you your commitment level. You're going to find out something about yourself by using this little worksheet here. And how committed are you to really increasing your lifestyle, right? Vice versa. In addition to, because obviously if you flip a house, and it's going to make you feel the way that it makes you feel, and it's going to give you the reason of whatever that is, paying stuff off or taking trips or, enjoying time with your dog in exotic places, whatever. You want to give yourself some other kind of benefit. Like, I'm going to splurge. I'm going to get a massage. It doesn't have to be expensive, but just celebrate, right? This is a celebration. Did you guys know, this is super cool, I just learned this. Did you guys know that the number one, the biggest way to show gratitude is actually celebration? Gratitude is celebration. Because if you celebrate, you are expressing gratitude for whatever it is that you received, achieved, that somebody did, right? Look at all the things. Look at the holidays. Look at the holidays that we celebrate. It's because we're grateful, right? Christmas, Jesus was born. We celebrate that because we're we're grateful, Christians, of course, right? Thanksgiving, we celebrate what are pilgrims? Pilgrims. I was going to say pioneers, but pilgrims, right? Here in Utah, we just had the 24th of July and celebrated people, walking from freaking New York to Utah back before cars even existed. We celebrate because we're grateful, right? So this is a celebration. If you achieve that goal, we gonna celebrate because we're grateful, right? It doesn't have to be expensive, just cheap. It can be cheap. We're gonna go out to dinner and we're gonna celebrate, right? And we're gonna talk about this. Okay, so back to that visualization. Oh, what time is it? It's 9:02. Cool, we're about done. Okay. This is one of the most important parts too. They're all important. That's why they're on here. Every single one of these is important because it's on here, right? It is written. I will be accountable to. This has to be somebody that you love, somebody that you trust, and most importantly, somebody that you will feel guilty. You will feel embarrassed if you don't achieve this. In fact, I would argue that the person that you are afraid of most in being judged by, that is the person that because again, this is going to tell you, let me change colors because we're getting really blue here. This is going to tell you how committed you really are, right? And so if I have a student fill this out and show it to me, just walking through here really fast and asking, who is this person? I look at this question, and I'll be able to tell, like, okay, are you really committed to this or not? If you pick somebody that you're like, this is what I'm going to do, and if I fail, it's going to affect me more than if I right? Like for example, if you guys, some obviously I love and we trust each other or whatever, but if any of you that are a part of my family, but maybe not necessarily in my personal life, if you guys were to tell me, hey, this is my goals, I mean, what's the worst thing that could happen, right? I'm not gonna, I'm gonna be like, no, dude, I might not sugarcoat that. But really, at the end of the day, you're gonna be like, well, Daine loves me anyway, and when, whatever. And you probably won't be that embarrassed, right? This is very interesting psychology that you're going to utilize to your benefit. But if you tell somebody like your spouse, your parents, your brothers and sisters, the person that you look up to most in your life, that's going to tell you. That is going to tell you how much you are committed to yourself and to your success. Okay. So if you did not catch a screenshot of this, I'm going to erase this for you guys. And in fact, here, I think I can just do this and move it over. Yoink.
Hey, Daine,
Go ahead and take a screenshot of that. Yeah, go ahead. Yeah, ask questions too, if you guys have them.
I'm wondering, like, does your wife do this as well? And how do you integrate your goals as a family for your vision board?
Were you on my training last week?
Yeah.
So in that,
I know that
talk
there's
about
like a category.
Yeah, one of the categories is family. And so now, but my wife has her own vision board. She has her vision board. I have my vision board. And we don't always have to choose to align our family section, right? I might have one goal for our family and she has another goal for our family, and that's fine because I'm going to drive, to one and she is going to drive towards another, and that's totally fine. It doesn't mean we're not in alignment, but yeah, I mean, she at least has to agree with my family goal. Where if I stick that on my vision board and I'm going to put all this energy towards it, then she's going to want to be like, oh yeah, I would love that for the family, and vice versa. But yeah, for the most part, like the stuff on my vision board, I didn't even consult with her. I didn't even ask her. So for example, if we go back to the nine things on the vision board, so like my money goal, I mean, yeah, I didn't even consult with her about that. I just said, hey, this is what I'm doing. So my money goal, my hobby goal, my image, reputation, my spiritual, my love, my fitness. I mean, that was just me. And she has her own as well. And so it's kind of cute, actually. We got both of our vision boards. Mine is on my side of the bed and hers is on her side of the bed. And we both get to see each of those every single day. She's got hers, I've got mine. And they kind of match, although hers is a little more artsy than mine, just because that's how she is. But yeah, great question. Great question. Your vision board can be your own guilt-free, right? You put whatever you want on there. Nobody else is even allowed to make fun or sway. Like, no, that's you. That vision board is for you and your life. Nobody else, even your spouse. If your spouse wants to control it, say, get your own. Because you can control your own. But cool. All right, guys. Any last questions before we finish off here? Take a screenshot of this if you want it. And I'll see you guys next week.
Daine, I just want to say thanks for your training last week and today. I was able to apply what you said, and it helped me focus a lot better this week. So I really appreciate that.
Cool. My pleasure. Love you all. I'll see you all next week. Have a good one, guys. Just checking comments here. Yeah, Deborah, if you're still on, can you use your escrow with private money? Yeah, escrow. Oftentimes there's attorneys involved, but they might not be money attorneys. Daine's tracker sheet, perfect. Cool. All right, guys, have a good one.